Hi there, welcome to No Nonsense Whiskey. My name's Vin PF, and on today's episode we're doing another Sample Saturday, and today we've got the Glasgow Distillery 1770, their latest small batch releases. So we've got three here to go through, all very interesting cask types, distillation types, whatnot. As always with these Sample Saturday videos, this is kind of a little bit, I don't want to say less professional, but it's definitely the idea behind these is, I do one cut videos anyways, but this is like really one cut unless I make some serious errors. But the whole point behind this is there's been barely any research behind these drams. I get these drams from industry sometimes, and I'm just going to give you my first impression. So today, I haven't even tried these before, so I've got them down in my glasses here, airing out. I've got a little bit extra to check these out before. So these aren't reviews. They're not designed to be reviews. I don't review samples anymore. I used to years and years ago. But this is just my way of being able to showcase newer releases to you guys, something that you might be interested in, first impressions, especially from brands that I really love, like Glasgow 1770. They have their own cube down here because I tend to buy most of their stuff. It's a good way of checking out their range. So today, we've got three. What I've got for you then today is I'll show you little bits and bobs of them if it shows up in my lights. But this is the small batch release, but this is the Cognac Cask Finish Batch 1. And we'll go into more details about what was involved in those when I get to them. This one here is the Golden Beer Finish. I'll also do chapters underneath, so if you want to check out one in particular, then that's fine. And then finally, we'll finish on the Tokaji Cask, which is the peated one. So actually, these are good high strength alcohols. We've got 52%, 58% and 53.4%. All of these sell for £59 at their full size 700 milliliter bottles. If you haven't caught on to Glasgow recently, but you have in the past, you'll have remembered there'd have been half litre bottles, but they've expanded the range now to include the full size and kept the price point, which I think is pretty good. The fact that these are all sort of that 60 quid vibe is pretty good. Okay. So, I won't waste too much of your time, so I'm just going to go straight into it and see what we've got. So, the first one then is the Cognac Cask Finish. So, on the side here it says triple distilled. So, if you don't know your Glasgow Distillery, they have three main styles of whiskey, and they have the original, they have the triple distilled, and then they have their peated expressions, and they differ in cask types. They're doing really interesting things with their cask types. So this is a triple distilled whiskey, matured in first fill ex-bourbon cask and finished in French cognac casks, 52%. Yeah, let's get into it then and see what we've got. Natural coloured, non-chill filtered, all the things that we like to hear. So this is quite a light, characteristic whiskey. Their triple distilled is a really interesting one because their first release, the first version of that, I didn't vibe so much. I vibe off of Glasgow Distillery quite well. If you know the channel, I've covered them quite a lot. Really enjoying their liquid, but that was my kind of least favourite of their initial salvo. But then they changed the recipe ever so slightly, and it sparkled after that, and it's really lovely. Definitely worth checking out. Certainly not worth ignoring. But yeah, let's get onto the nose then. So first vibes. Okay, that's an interesting one. It's got. If I didn't know this was cognac, obviously cognac's grape influenced, so I would say this has got a very distinctly white wine nose about it. That in a blind tasting, that would really confuse me for sure. Really nice. It's got it's got those kind of tropical notes that these guys are kind of pushing out now, which is great. Wouldn't have called this as the triple distilled, but that's interesting in itself. Let's try on the palate. Oh man. Oh, that's gorgeous. Oh, there's a lot going on there. Hang on. Give me a second. Okay. Now this is like, the overarching flavour of this is those fruit salad sweets, tropical flavours. I'm getting banana. Like a bit rhubarby, I guess, as well. All those, my God, this is literally fruit salads in a glass. I can't give it any more than that. I'm struggling to get past that. There's definitely more going on to it, but without doing a full assessment off screen, that's my overall. I mean, it's just literally it's literally eating those sweets. I can't give it anything else. That's that it's just zoomed me right back to eating those. Okay, now usually on these Sample Saturday videos I might have written some tasting notes. I decided not to do that today. So if you like this style, let me know in the comments below, because what I'm going to do now is cleanse my palate. What I usually would do is write my tasting notes beforehand, deliver them all in the video, a bit more succinctly than this, to give you guys an idea about what I'm tasting. But because I'm doing it on the fly today, I'm going to go with the water. So yeah, let me know if you prefer this kind of off-the-cuff kind of vibe, or if you would prefer me to have my tasting notes ready. I don't suppose it matters to you guys, but you know, either way, let me know what you prefer. Yeah, just a little cleanse. Okay, next then we've got unpeated. So this is I think this is meant to be the original. They're just the original flavour profile. Matured in first fill ex-bourbon cask and finished for 1 year in a PX cask that held Innis & Gunn Golden Beer. So, oh yeah, give it the name. This is the Golden Beer finish 1. So, the cask held So, okay, I'm going to assume, because it's a PX cask, I'm going to assume it had the Pedro Jimenez sherry in it first, and then they put the beer in it. God knows what they did with that beer, but I certainly want to try it. And yeah, that was the finishing cask. Okay, interesting. 58%. Right, so yeah, much deeper colour, as you might expect, but let's get into it and see what we've got. Okay, interesting. Definitely getting more of those tropical notes that we used to get in the original. The original always had more for me. The original kind of like a cask makeup always had more of those tropical notes than the triple distilled did. So yeah, I'm definitely getting a bit more of that, and I'm getting some cinnamon and clove as well that I usually do get on that kind of original as well. But there's definitely something else to it. Again, I like to come at things as if it was a kind of a blind tasting, and what I might try and pull out from that without the prior knowledge that I've got here, which isn't much to be fair, but there's almost like an orangey characteristic to it. I'm not getting kind of like any hops or anything like that I might get off a beer influenced, but I'll tell you what, I'm not getting anything kind of sherry related. That's interesting, because I would have expected, with PX, I'd expected some kind of sweetness and some extra sherry notes, but I'm not getting any of that. Now in my head, all I smell is the original, but let's try on the palate and see what difference it makes. Oh yeah, okay. Oh, that's a monster. Okay, the 58% is definitely making itself known. Not on the nose, but on the palate. Yes, I'm getting heaps and heaps and heaps of the original. If you've tried the original, you'll know exactly what I mean. It's definitely more of those cinnamon notes. I'm definitely getting that beer influence on this time round. Now, there's some slight bitterness to it. Definitely a little bit of hoppiness to it. Funnily enough, the PX cask, I'm not getting any of that PX that I would expect to get anyway, at least. So it must be mingling in with it somewhere, but it's not front and centre. So you guys that are with me on the kind of not vibing off the sherry so much, then don't let that put you off, because there's none of that extreme PX sweetness for me. Let's have another little sip. Yeah, that's an absolute monster of a dram, and the fact that, in fact, let me just double check that is 58 quid, because that, I mean, that's a steal. This is what I mean by the unfiltered stuff. I wonder if this is a bit more. Yeah, okay, this is a little bit more. £64 instead of the 59 quid. So yeah, super interesting. Yeah, the only one that's just a little bit more, but I guess that's the extra ABV doing that. 58%, man. That's not to be sniffed at. You know, literally, no pun intended. It doesn't smell like it. It tastes like it. My God. Yeah. Okay. Really interesting dram, that. Still think I prefer the triple distilled, which is interesting. But yeah, let's have a little cleanse and we'll move on to the next one. All right. Okay, so finally then, we have the Tokaji cask. Now this one here is a peated whiskey, matured in virgin oak, and then finished in a Hungarian Tokaji cask. Fine. 53.4%, and this one also retails at £59. So 59, 64, 59. These are all available on the Glasgow website. Again, links in the description below. So yeah, we have a nice deep colour again here, as I'd expect out of a first fill cask. Don't know much about Tokaji casks, I have to say. The one thing I will say is that they have done Tokaji in the past, and it was probably my least favourite. I don't know why. I don't know anything about Tokaji cask, but something about it, I didn't vibe off of it. But let's see if this is any different. Okay, well, this is undeniably peated, but it's not that kind of, it's not the kind of dirty medicinal. It's definitely more like burning. It's like literally the smoke. Yeah, can't really get much else on the nose. There's definitely something else going on there. Something weird, in a good way, I mean. But yeah, it just smells like literally like a kind of a lit smoky bonfire. It's good. Let's try on the palate. Okay, peat forward. Very oaky. Oh, okay, there it goes. So, as I was letting the kind of smokiness and the peatiness kind of waft over, the oakiness came through. And yeah, towards the back end, there's something weird going on there. That I can only, I mean, this is literally exactly the same as the last Tokaji cask. It sours out. I'm trying to figure it out, but it's really like, it's like a really bitter oakiness that it's literally like licking a bit of wood, which, yeah, I personally, I don't vibe off of it, I have to say. I didn't vibe off the last Tokaji cask, and that might be the fact that it's the Tokaji cask. What I'm going to have to do now is do some research on Tokaji casks, because that's two that, and it really is a very similar taste. I'm going to try again. Oh, it's got a beautiful peaty start to it, smoky peaty. But yeah, once that's wafted, it morphs almost immediately into this really sour, bitter oakiness that I've only ever felt before with the last Tokaji cask that they released. And like I said, I didn't really vibe off of that one. Yeah, I have to say I don't really vibe off that one either, if I'm being really honest. But that's just my favourite profile. This has obviously been released by these guys, and the last Tokaji cask was really well received. So again, as I always say, you know, I'm no expert. You're following me because of my palate and hopefully the videos. You enjoy the videos, but yeah, if you do follow my palate, then you might align. But don't let that be the only opinion. If you like the Tokaji cask vibe, you're probably going to like that. But for me, actually, I mean, unbeknownst to me, in the order that I've put them out, it's my favourite to least favourite. This, hang on, I'm gonna go back to this first one. This triple distilled with the cognac, this is immense. Oh, it's so light and fruity. Yeah. I mean, something's changing in my brain, that's for sure, because not only is that the lowest ABV of the group, albeit still 52%, it's triple distilled, which I don't typically vibe off triple distilled. Yeah, that's brilliant, that is. Love that. Like this, not a huge fan of that. It's probably the fairest way of wrapping that up. I mean, it's a caveat with it all. It's perfectly drinkable, and I would enjoy that, but it's just my least favourite of this group. There you go. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this video. If you like this kind of like, it's almost like a live streamy vibe, right? But except not live stream. But let me know if you like it. If you want me to do more of that, if you want me to kind of like truncate it down a little bit more. Let me know if you've tried any of these, if you like Glasgow 1770, or as always, you can email me, vin@nononsensewhiskey.com, and talk to me about pretty much anything whiskey related. Always happy to send a reply there. Final one then, all that call to action, final call to action, make sure you join my Discord server, because there's some good stuff going on there. Make sure you check it out. Links in the description below. Cheers everyone, and I'll see you again on more videos coming soon.